Women want you to be sexy and lean, and I say that with a lot of conviction. I know this because women don't look at a guy who's in poor shape and go, "Oh yeah, I want that. I want to have kids with him." They just don't do that. Their biology is not made up to do that. And you see these guys online who are spending so much time on, game and how to talk to women and how to do the, you know, how to text, how to fucking cold approach. And it doesn't matter if you aren't in tip top shape, if you haven't pulled the right levers, if you aren't looking after your grooming. And I'm saying this because I've helped guys genuinely change the course of their dating life simply by working on their fashion, working on their physique, working on their grooming, working on their internal confidence through, their external appearance. And I also talk to women, I know what they want. I will tell you, I've never dated a girl who's like, "Oh, you're a bit too muscular," or you've got, you're too lean. Like every single guy should be looking to build their aesthetic, V-taper physique. And I just can't believe that guys will genuinely walk into a room and be shocked that they're invisible because they're out of shape. Like girls don't look at the guy who's in 30% body fat and go, "Yeah man, I want to sleep with that, I want to have kids with that." It just doesn't happen. You literally separate yourself massively from a crowd when you are in tip top shape. Do you know how many guys are 10% body fat? It is rarer than being a millionaire. So when you sit and think, "Oh, if I just had, if I had the money and that would make me feel confident." Well, I'll tell you right now, there are guys I work with who have a ton of money and they don't have success in dating. They drive the G-Wagon, they drive the Range Rover, So having the Lamborghini, having the Urus is not gonna make it so you get more women. It just doesn't. In fact, the women that genuinely have the pick of the litter have a ton of guys who have money. Having money is just like having legs because it's so common. It's so common for women to date guys with money. Like women don't even have this perception of what actual money is. They just see it as a utility. They look at the lifestyle and that's about it. So if you do have money and you're like, "Hey, look, I'm out of shape," if you partner that with being in peak physical condition, you're gonna have a way better dating life. And I'd even argue, I'll fucking tell you this categorically. I have genuinely taken girls from guys who are hyper successful or, pretty successful financially because they're out of shape. They can't give a girl that raw attraction, that raw feeling simply because, it doesn't trigger that raw attraction in women. And if you actually just pull the lever of being in fucking incredible shape, your chest is nice and big, your upper chest, your lats, your shoulders, you've got the lean V-taper physique. And lean is the key here, right? It doesn't even necessarily mean you have to have a ton of muscle. You should have a decent amount of muscle. I'd even argue that I'm probably the upper limit of amount of muscle. I mean, I'm yet to hear girls say, "Oh, you got too much muscle," but I would argue in terms of, the female gaze, you don't need a ton of muscle. You need to be lean. Look at the actual guys that girls are attracted to. You're looking at guys like, Tom Holland. The guy is not a mass monster. He's just lean. This is gonna sound crazy, but Timothée Chalamet, that guy's got no muscle at all, but he has this raw attraction that women genuinely desire. Yes, he's hyper successful, but Jonah Hill was hyper successful and you saw his, if you're tapped in, you saw how his girl treated him. Even look at Tom Brady, right? The guy has an abundance of women and he lost his wife, but he's in good shape and he can just go get another girl. But if it was someone who's in terrible shape, you're just not gonna have the same success. You're just not. It's harsh to say, but it's true. You need to pull all the levers that are actually gonna get success. Now, I've been 20, 30% body fat, had a decent amount of muscle on me when I was in university, and I didn't have the worst dating life. I'm gonna be totally upfront with you guys. I didn't have the worst dating life. I was still able to get girls. I wasn't massively fat, but I certainly wasn't where I am now. And I'll tell you, as I live in London, as you can see, I walk around London and I have sometimes girls genuinely, like the other day, I was on the way to the gym and these two girls in a Mercedes, and bear in mind, I was wearing like the shittest clothing and a backpack. It was 6 in the morning. And I had these two girls literally stop their car and say, "Hey, come back, come back." And, go over to them, they just wanted my Instagram. Do you know, like, how many of you guys get to experience a girl literally do leaps and bounds in order to, you know, go up to you. The same thing happened when I was in the club the other day. I went to Coco, and I went with my younger brother, who's also fucking jacked to shit and lean and aesthetic. We've both lost a bunch of weight. We've both got ourselves shredded because we both understand how important it is. But like I was saying, I was in Coco, and the amount of guys I see there that are just, they got. So I saw some guy with a Cartier. I saw guys wearing thousands of pounds of outfits. I saw a guy with a Rolex. These guys don't get the attraction. They don't, because a girl's not looking at your wrist and going, oh, he's got a 30 grand watch on, that's gonna turn me on. No, they're looking at you up and down and going, will I have kids with that guy? That's how their subconscious works, right? If you dress well, your physique's on point, you're gonna have girls approach you, and I can't stress this enough. I don't know how guys genuinely walk around at 30% body fat, feeling like, oh, why am I not getting success with dating? It's not a fucking surprise. You have to dial in your physique. You have to start eating whole foods. You have to start going to the gym. And it's not, you know, I would even go as far as to say it's not something that's super impossible, but you do need to set up your lifestyle and set up your, you know, your day to just be lean. Like my whole day is set up to be incredibly lean. That's it, because of how important it is. Now my life, unfortunately or fortunately, does revolve around, you know, going to the gym, but I also run a business. I also work. I wake up at 5 in the morning to get my steps in. I make sure that my meals are planned out. I go to a butcher, make sure I've got my 5% lean beef. I make sure I've got 30 eggs in my fridge at all points. You just have to set your life up to be in the shape you want to be in, and that's going to be able to make your life easier. It's gonna be a walk in the fucking park to get lean if you actually pull the right levers. Now, most of you guys work jobs. You don't need to be, you know, training in the gym 6-7 days a week. You just need 3 to 4 days, a good system that's gonna hit all your muscles, get your, you know, build you the lean aesthetic physique. We're not trying to be bodybuilders over here. We're trying to build the aesthetic Greek god physique. Someone said that in my comments the other day, and I thought that's a good sort of terminology. The Greek physique, that's what you want. That's lean, that's muscular. But that can be achieved with 3-4 days in the gym. You know, I mean, muscle building is a slow process, so you haven't got to try and achieve it in a week. But getting lean, that's a quick process. You should be setting things up so that leanness is inevitable. You need to get in the best shape possible, and I can't believe that guys don't know how to do it. Genuinely, if you just go on ChatGPT, you can set your shit up, and it will tell you what you need to do. And if you're still like, you know what, I need some accountability, I need some help to actually do this, well, go access my free training. It breaks down the 5 protocols that you need to do in order to become the most attractive version of yourself and actually get the results, actually get success in dating. I call it the 2-second method. Get access to your free training. It will change your life. And if you're like, damn, I need more, I want more of this, you can book a call with my team. We'll get you set up, we'll get you onboarded, and we will dial you in. We will have it so that you are getting 100 matches a week. Like, this is what people don't realize. You're sitting on a dating app wondering why you can't get matches. It's like you haven't even pulled the right levers. Your dating app looks like that of a 13-year-old. You know, you're dressed like a 17-year-old, wearing like stupid outfits, wearing a t-shirt with, you know, a fucking comic book on it. It doesn't make sense. Like, I just don't get how guys don't, you know, pull the right levers. It's genuinely surprising. Oh, there goes my camera. Oh, there goes the camera. But the wind, it's a little bit windy out here. Let me make sure that's set up properly for the right view. But yeah, like, most guys don't know how attractive they could actually be. Like, and I find that so depressing, because even when I was 30% body fat, I subconsciously knew, I was like, damn, I actually have potential if I could just put down the fork. If I actually do the moves, like do the right moves on the chessboard, I could genuinely become like, super attractive. And if you don't believe me, like, look at my transformation. I've come from 30% body fat, super inflamed. I was literally getting rejected, and I had confidence. Don't get twisted. I had confidence. I done stage coach as a kid, so like I was on stage doing theatre stuff. I had some very peculiar hobbies. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I fucking play airsoft. I play airsoft. That is like the most autistic sport someone could do. You shoot BBs around. But even with, you know, this confidence, I wasn't able to actually garner the success with women that I wanted. And even if I would get some success with women, it was the women that I didn't want. It was the 3s and the 4s. Now I'm in good shape. Now I've optimized myself. Now I've put myself to the maximal potential by following the right steps every single day. I don't even have to work on my distribution. I don't even have to go outside and actually approach women. I do it for my content and to show you guys it's possible and show you guys the impact it has. But I have so much inbound that I don't have to worry about it. Now I do have a girlfriend, right? I have a girlfriend at the moment. She's lovely, but I got her by being attractive. I got her by literally working on myself. And so many guys work on the distribution, they work on their game, they work on all these other aspects when they're not pulling the lowest hanging fruit, they're not pulling the right lever. And that is simply to work on your physique, work on your fashion, work on your grooming. These things are gonna make you feel confident. You're gonna wake up and look in the mirror and go, fuck me, I look good. I feel amazing. And as a result, you're gonna literally get, better results, because women can genuinely sense, the confidence of a man before he even opens his mouth. The way you walk, the way you carry yourself, they can see these things. So if you're sitting there wondering, oh man, what shall I do to get more women? Oh, how do I get my ex back? Just work on yourself. That is the best thing that you can do. And I say this because I've done it myself. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I was a Chad my whole life. No, I was literally the most autistic nerd you could meet. Genuinely, I'm not even bullshitting. I've got ADHD, I've got fucking autism. That's why I make videos talking about this stuff. And that's why I have a fantastic understanding about it, because I've analyzed this. I've gone so deep. I've watched hundreds of hours of game. And I'm here to tell you, the only thing that matters for 99% of men is becoming attractive. It's 2026. You've got things like lookism and the black pill. Like, this stuff exists, and yet you're not doing it. I took the red pill, which is understanding female nature and understanding how women operate, understanding, that women are fickle, they're lovely. I speak very highly of women, but they have their nature. And I took that when I was like 20. I understood, holy shit, like, you have to be a game player. Like, you have to understand female nature in order to have success with women. And I took that pill and I realized, holy shit, like, I knew nothing about women that I thought I did. And that's why I was getting rejected. Now, then I was like, in 2024, I was like, shit, like, I was going to the gym, I was working on my purpose, I was trying to build myself, make money. And I still wasn't getting the success of women. Even though I had, the game, I had a bit of money, I was doing all right for myself, I didn't actually get the success I wanted. So I was like, okay, in 2025, the black pill came about in terms of improving your looks, maxing out your stats in terms of the aesthetic. And I'm like, that one seems like it's actually working. When I started to do it, when I started to eat healthier, I was going from eating like McDonald's every single day. I shit you not, guys. Like, I was eating, I think my record was like 7 McDonald's in 2 or 3 days. I used to smoke weed. I used to fucking go to McDonald's, and I was a complete bum, right? I was a productive bum, but I was a bum and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. It wasn't until I fucking was like, that's it, I'm gonna make every single move to improve myself, that I started seeing success. And the first way that you can do that, the lowest hanging fruit, and I say this all the time because it genuinely is the lowest hanging fruit, is to just work on your physique. Because once you work on your physique, all the other things that seem so out of reach start to come in reach. Like, it's no surprise that when you are, 10% body fat and you've had success, such good success in that area of life, you start to get success in other areas of life. You start to make more money, you start to have a better social circle, you start to feel more confident, you start to have better dating life, you start to, you're like, okay, I've got 10% body fat, what's next? That was my approach. Like, I was like, once I got to 10% body fat, I was like, okay, how can I improve more? What can I optimize more? And it can get really, again, like, I sometimes hate to use this term, some people get offended by it. You can get really autistic with it. And that's what I like to do. I go, okay, well, I've put down all the, the bad food. What's next? Okay, I'm gonna optimize my gym routine. Okay, like, I've done that, what's next? I need to improve my skin. What's my skincare looking like? Okay, cool, that's done. How can I improve my fashion? I want the best fashion. Like, I recently spent the last 7 months completely revolutionized my wardrobe, and you can see how I used to dress to how I dress now. Significant difference, genuinely significant difference. And it's like, I actually built my life to optimize these things, and it's funny that every other aspect starts to improve. And I still find it shocking that guys will see someone like myself who's come from, you know, out of shape, semi-unconfident, unsuccessful financially, unsuccessful with women, unsuccessful with habits, bad addictions, smoking weed, partying, all this stuff, to now getting the exact lifestyle that they want, and they're just sitting thinking, oh, it can't be me. It absolutely can be you, but you have to make the right moves. And between me and you know the moves you need to make. That's the fucking funniest part, right? You actually know what you need to do in order to get the results you want. Like if someone said to you, oh, you've got a test coming up, I'm just not gonna study for it. Well, you know that if you studied, you'd do better. Oh, I wanna get in good shape. Well, you know that if you eat in a calorie deficit and you train in the gym a few days a week, over a long enough period of time and you stay consistent with it, you will get results. You know that if you start that business and just ruthlessly do it every single day, you'll get results. And that's how I started to view everything in life, even with because I make content, obviously, right? I started thinking, okay, well, how can I get better at making content? I just started posting more YouTube videos. I started standing here, just talking. And the truth is that I've gone to 1,000 subscribers in 2 weeks because I just practiced, I posted, I've stayed ruthlessly consistent. And this channel will reach well over 100,000 subscribers because I'm just not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep banging this on until the message hits home, until you guys start to make a change. Because I have made this change for myself, and I look back at myself, I didn't think this was possible. The stuff I'm doing now, I didn't think was possible. It was completely out of reach, but I knew the next step, so I took it. And if you guys want to know what the next step is, what I want you to do is click the link in my description, get access to my completely free training. It's 5 protocols that you need to do in order to get success with your life, get success with specifically your dating, improve your looks, and find the woman of your dreams or build a roster, whatever it is. Improve your physique, improve your fashion, improve your grooming, and we'll work on your confidence. We get you absolutely dialed when it comes to dating because I am a fucking underrated dating coach. I actually don't think enough people know this. You see me as the body game guy, and again, yes, pulling the lever of body is impeccable. But when you start to achieve that stuff, you want more, and you should be wanting to improve your game. A lot of guys do not have game. And I see these dating coaches not talking about the physique side and talking about the dating side. And it's great, don't get it twisted, but you need to work on everything. You need to work on everything all at once because it can be worked on. Now, there is a specific order. It's going to be told to you in the free training. So after this video, go ahead and watch that. But you need to start pulling the right levers. You do need to start pulling the right levers. It will literally change your life. I'm sitting here reminiscing about how I used to be a complete fucking degenerate, a complete bum, had nothing, right? I came from a fucking middle-class family, a perfect foundation, and still did nothing with it until I actually locked in with my physique, until I actually started improving the areas of life I knew I had to improve. And from there, you just start to ruthlessly win. You ever heard of the upward spiral? I think Andrew Tate talks about the upward spiral. Everyone knows about the downward spiral. You do one bad habit, it leads to another bad habit, you get a porn addiction, you get an alcohol addiction, a drug addiction, you lose all your money. It's just completely downwards. But people don't talk about the upward spiral, right? For me, the upward spiral was I got into shape, I started, working on saving money, I started a business, I started, getting closer to faith, but getting closer to God. And it's just consecutive win after consecutive win, and it changes your mentality. It changes how you operate and you move through the world. You just start to see things in this amazing positive light. Your mentality gets better. And it all comes from pulling the first lever. I stress this over and over again. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's because I want the message to hit home. But I didn't realize any of this stuff until I actually just started. And that's the biggest message I leave with you guys. You just have to start. You just have to start, and that's as simple as that. It's gonna come. You can see the vision, but you have to make the first step. Don't be one of those guys that says you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then procrastinate. That's just stupid. That's dumb. I actually genuinely hate those type of people. I've got friends like that I just, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna do that. Don't be one of those guys. They're toxic, and if you have them in your life, my suggestion is get rid of them, because you're just not gonna get where you want to get to if you're just a dreamer. If you just talk and talk and talk, you must take action. Action every single day. Do what you know you need to do. At first, it will be hard. At first, it genuinely will be hard, but once you actually develop the habit, it becomes easy. Like I said to my friend the other day, he says, oh man, how do you stay so consistent with gym? I'm like, because to me, the gym is like brushing my teeth. You know, ask yourself, how do you stay so consistent with brushing your teeth? It's like, it's just a habit you've built. And once you build that habit, it's like you can't go a day where you don't brush your teeth, because it's like you build this reward center in your brain that brushing teeth equals good, and you just don't skip it. It becomes like breathing. I don't have to think about waking up in the morning and going to the gym. I just do it. And if I don't do it, I start to get withdrawal symptoms. I start to suffer the consequences mentally more than physically, but still. So yeah, guys, take action, smash it out. Check out the link in the description for your completely free training. It will get you started. And if you're absolutely serious, you're like, I need to make a change, I'm gonna listen to what this light-skinned, handsome motherfucker's saying because he's clearly done it, book a call with me and my team. We will get you dialed. And I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you subscribe, check out my Instagram. I post a bunch of short form content. But yeah, peace guys.